Her name is Yellow, my baby. Look, say hi. Say hi, mama. It's my baby. So please ignore all the background. Hello, my good friends, my homies, my sisters, my brothers, my cousins, my nears, my fars, how y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, hi. If you're here again, what's good? I see you. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for clicking. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. We are here with yet another story time. First and foremost, I've been getting into the habit of taking pictures, and like I'm still learning the TikTok and all that stuff. I'm still learning how to use TikTok and do all the edits and all the stuff. So it's, if you want to, please feel free to follow me. If you hear scurrying, this is what's running around, and she's probably gonna be shaking the camera and playing with the tripod because she gets on my nerves. Go away. I'm getting into the habit of of learning how to do the TikToks and the edits and all the cool stuff. But on Instagram, I frequently take pictures and upload because I'm trying to get my fashionista out there. Because going through your closet, you realize you have a lot of clothes, and then when you realize you have a lot of clothes, you realize you have a lot of cute clothes. So I'm like, why not take pictures? So this is actually a two-piece, but I don't have the second piece on. The crop top and a mini. I'm gonna insert a couple pictures, and feel free to follow me, 10 Toes About It, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm gonna have it on the screen. Feel free to follow me and be social, and then social together. I follow back and all that good stuff, right? Today's story is gonna be about, they say don't live with your friends, and it's because of people like this. If you are new, I have another video on my channel. What is the title? My Man Got a Man, or He Didn't Tell Me He Likes Boys, or something like that. I mentioned this person. Her name is Misery, or Miserable. Really, both are perfect. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not the first time you're hearing it, I'm sure, but Misery loves company. So, I met Misery a long time ago. And I ended up being close with her family, right? Like, you know how you become really close with one, their mom becomes your mom, their brothers and sisters is your brothers and sisters, right? So it was like that. She was really close with my family, I was close to hers. We went to school together in a way. Oh yeah, we grew up together because we were in school together for years. How did we even meet? She was younger than me, so she was always in a grade below me, so I always like saw her like my little sister. She was so cute and all that stuff, but she was not a nice person. She was never a nice person. But it was one of those things where you don't expect a not nice person to not be nice to you. And yes, that is your fault. That is my fault. That's our fault. I get that, but I feel like it doesn't make it right. He was one of those people to say really mean, dismissive things to her family. She said really mean, dismissive things to her friends, and was one of those people to be like, but why is everybody mad? Why is everybody upset? Girl was allergic to accountability. Seeing her grow up throughout the years and seeing how many friends she lost, me knowing this girl, I'm like, what is it? You know, everybody is wrong. Everybody's a liar. Everybody's a hater, right? Everybody's a hater. Everybody's always a hater. It's always everybody else, right? I actually have a couple story times with this girl, so I'm gonna keep, you know, the background short and sweet. You know, coming soon. Coming soon. I'm trying to keep Yellow busy with a hanger because she. Let's fast forward past all the other juicy story times coming soon, I promise you. So let's get to how we became roommates, right? Of one of the many times I was homeless in New York. That, you know, I want to make that into a series because that's a, man, as much as I love New York, and anybody will tell you I am a sucker for the New York City. I've never really had a home. How we even got to story time, right? When I was in the shelter, if you know anything about being homeless in New York, they have programs that help. In my experience, you know, a lot of the programs are more geared toward children and older people, which I can understand, but that's not fair because I'm not an older person or a mother, so why shouldn't I be priority too? But that's not now. So they had a bunch of programs and stuff, and because I was in a single woman shelter, I didn't get priority. You know, I had to get what I could take and work and, you know, and try to find something on my own. I was doing my little dream job. I'm not gonna say what it is now, but it was something I've always imagined myself doing, and I enjoyed it until I was fired. While I was working there, I was in the shelter. So, you know, I had Winston, my first cat, my other cat. I had her before I went to the shelter. So I didn't have anywhere for her to go. And, you know, I'm just so sad and all that stuff. And I wasn't going to ask Misery because I know and I knew how Misery is. She's one of those people who counts favors. He likes to, oh, remember that time I gave you 50 cents, July 15th, 1901? Girl, like, but she was like that with everybody, with her friends, her best friends, her family, everybody. She counted every single little itty bitty favor and was just like, oh, y'all want a cookie? I want that cookie. Like, she was you want a cookie? Head ass, like, for real. Remember all those things I did? She was one of those. Those are the worst kind of people, man. I was not gonna ask her, but I was really depressed because I had Winston for like maybe 2 years at this point, and I'm like, I'm not giving up my cat. Like, no, like, pet parents need to be taken more seriously, but that's not where we are right now. That's not this. Stay tuned for that, right, mama? Right. I'm literally entertaining her so I can work. I'm multitasking, mama. Okay. You know, I was so depressed, and I was just like, oh my god, what am I doing with my baby? I don't want to get rid of her. And it was genuinely like a depressing time for me because she has been the most constant in my life for a while, you know. Like, my life up until maybe 6, 7 years ago has been like this. Rocky. Oh, anyway. I'll never not say thank you, especially for something that you didn't have to do. I'm gonna say thank you 110 times because you didn't have to do it. I'm one of those people, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to. And that's selfish of me, yes, I get that. Like, I genuinely appreciate people who are not like me. But so I'm gonna always say thank you, regardless. So she reached out and was like, oh, you know, if you need somewhere for Winston to go, like, I got you. And let me tell you, I genuinely cried because she had a hip. I genuinely cried because I'm like, yo, like, she was a pet parent too, so she understood, you know, and I was like, yo, like, you know, so she had Winston for the year that I was in the shelter. And like I said, I ended up getting the job at my dream job. And so they were able to provide me with enough money to, you know, begin to look for a place. So I'm looking for an apartment, and again, you know, she reaches out and she's like, oh, you know, we got a room for rent. And I'm like, again, I was not gonna. Cause you know we're friends. I knew this. I knew she had rooms for rent, and I knew the whole situation, but I was not gonna ask because I know how she is. I know how she is. But you know, because I'm in this sticky situation, and my friend is reaching out to me like, oh, like I'm not, everybody's a hater. You know, it's not you, it's them. It's not you, it's them, it's them, it's them. Why not? And then she had one said, so we're just gonna be reunited and it's gonna feel so good. And it did. It did feel good because I was at the shelter and I was with my cat, and you know, if you've been homeless and you got a home, you know how that feels. It feels amazing, right? So for the first living there for the first 6 to 9 months was okay. It was the kind of roommate that would it was her apartment and we were her tenants. So she was one of those that would like call a meeting and stand there with a clipboard. We had like a chore schedule, and mind you, everybody in this apartment was over the age of 25. There was a lady with her daughter who was a teenager, but everybody else was grown. It was on the calendar, and then if you missed your day, then she would mark X on the day that you didn't do it. It was really ridiculous, yo. She was one of those, and then she would like put notes all over there like, oh, say you was wiping the bathroom mirror and you missed the corner, she would put a sticky note, be like, oh, you missed. One of those. Within the 6 to 9 months happening, it was real, it was real. If I didn't touch on her personality a little bit earlier, I'm gonna touch on it a little bit more now. She was a liar. You annoying. You get on my nerves. What are you doing? Why are you doing too much? I have a friend, and we're gonna call this friend, we're gonna call her Ashley. I have this friend that I made very long time ago named Ashley. She's actually one of my very, 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 very close friends to this day. I met Ashley a very long time ago, and while I was living with Misery, Ashley fell on some hard times, and she didn't have anywhere to go. So Ashley used to come over, and me, Ashley, and Misery would hang out together. Me and Ashley, partook. But Misery didn't. So, we would all just stand in the hallway and, just chit chat and smoke or whatever. So, Ashley would just, when you're a woman going through something and you find yourself in the comfort of other women, it's just something about it that just makes you feel safe enough to tell your business and, and I don't want to say that in a bad way, but I mean, like, you feel safe enough to talk and see if somebody could relate, if somebody got some advice. It's just somebody to listen to, period, So I completely understand. I've done it before. So she would tell her like, oh, this is going on and that's going on and I'm having this issue and this is going on, all that stuff. So, Misery and her weird godlike complex, her hero complex, was just like, oh, Ashley's going through some ish, y'all are so close. If y'all don't mind, renting out the room together, y'all stay, y'all stay together, and just pay. It was basically like being roommates. So she had agreed, right? And in my head, I'm like, and again, I'm not gonna say what this happened because that's too much. In my head, I got both of my homegirls with me, and it's just lit. Like, everybody's schedule coincided, so we always had time to hang out. We went out a couple times. Misery and her extra friends, who blink twice, girl. Blink twice. Anyway, like we went out a couple times. We used to trade fashion ideas, because they kind of were almost the same size, so they were able to trade clothes, and me and Misery shared shoes because that's all we could fit. it was seemingly a good time. I really can't tell you where the rift between Ashley and Misery began, because, and it's not even not even because she's my friend, but Ashley is one of those people that, like, you think she's fake because of how nice she is. She's a genuine person. She's not weird. She's not trifling. She's a genuine, good-hearted person. She's a bitch sometimes. So little by little, it was more and more Misery just began to just be miserable and be nasty, and would say stuff and make up complaints about who's smoking in the hallway, and that, oh, it's coming inside, and all that stuff, right? Lying up. All living together and being roommates, all of us being roommates and stuff. Misery's God complex began to get worse and worse. It got to the point where, like, instead of leaving notes, she would, like, walk past the door and be like, you left a streak of that's when you were sweeping. Like, it wasn't like stupid and petty like that, but it was stupid and petty like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can, she was really condescending, and would just try to make you jumble your words and get, oh girl, that was a gaslighter for sure, like the worst type ever. She was one of those people where you wanted to argue with her because you knew she was wrong, but she was one of those people with solar panel battery that just kept going. She just kept going. She just kept going. She just kept going. It really just began to drain, and more and just began to, like, suck the life out of us, right? So so Ashley and I would go smoke in the hallways and stuff, and we would always get a call from, the person whose apartment it was, who was renting it to all of us. And she would be like, oh, the police are calling me because people are smoking in the hallway and stuff like that. I'm gonna be disrespectful, so I'm just like, look, like, let's not do this in the hallway no more. Let's go all the way downstairs to smoke and then come all the way back upstairs. And it is what it is. We did what we had to do, and boom, it was done, right? And Misery called the meeting with me and Ashley and was like, oh, again, talking about the smoking for the 100 millionth time before we started going outside. And it was just like, oh, I don't even really remember what she said. It was some bullshit. And I remember Ashley was like, oh, and I was something about this girl, but she's one of those people who, when she finally puts her foot down and has some bass in her voice, people take that as a whoa. And it's like, no, like, I'm setting a boundary. And Misery was one of those people who wasn't comfortable with that. She wasn't comfortable with people setting boundaries against her. So, Misery was talking her crap and blah, 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 blah. And Ashley was like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but, whatever she had said, I don't remember exactly what she said. I just remember she had said, I'm not trying to be rude, but, and when I tell y'all, Misery took all the disrespect from what she said, and it wasn't disrespectful. It was really on some, everybody's grown. It wasn't on some that it needed to be beef. There was no beef needed. Her personal life started to improve and all of that stuff, so she was gonna move out. At this time, Misery hated Ashley, hated her. It was one of those things, like, you could see it, like the way she would talk and say stuff. And there was one time where me and Misery were talking, and she randomly said, oh, I got hands and they work. And I went, what? What are you talking about? What? And Ashley had one in the room, and I was like, first of all, no, they don't. Okay, and I know that they don't. I know when you got that scar on your eyebrow, girl. I know. I had reached out to the owner of the apartment, and I was like, oh, things are going better for Ashley. She's gonna move, but we have a vacation coming up, and she's gonna be, her stuff is gonna be out before we get back from vacation. And I'm thinking that, we're communicating adults understand that sometimes things happen. Apparently they didn't understand that. I actually been through enough stuff in her life. So when I tell y'all that girl was paranoid, right? So we had a baby monitor, and she was just like, oh, like, I'm gonna keep the baby monitor in the room. And I was just like, I mean, I don't see why, but whatever. And we're wherever we are and vacationing, going to the beach, going to the pool, the amusement park and restaurants and a lot of stuff. We're having a good old time visiting or whatever, and it was a relative's birthday, so it was even more fun. I get a notification on my phone, and it was the baby monitor. It had sent a ping, and it was like, oh, motion detected. It was actually really funny because even when Winston would walk around, I always got a ping like, oh, and you would just see Winston mad close to the camera. It was mad funny. It said motion detected, so I went to look at it, and it was Misery's pet. And I'm like, oh, girl, if you don't get your damn animal out of my room. We on the phone, and me and Ashley are looking at it through Ashley's phone because she had the same app. So I'm on the phone with Misery, and we looking at it, and she's like, Misery's on the baby monitor, like, girl, you see me? Get out of here. And we thinking it's mad funny, right? Thinking it's mad funny. Why? She was like, oh, what y'all doing with this, whatever. And Ashley was like, girl, like, it don't even got nothing to do with you. It's for me and whatever. And, we laughed it off thinking it was all funny and cool and games, whatever. So our vacation's going by, whatever. And then one random day, I go to check. I'm one of those people, like, if I haven't used the app in a long time, I'm gonna go and look and see what it was and either delete it or be like, oh, whatever. I went to the thing, and I'm like, we haven't gotten a ping in a long time. Like, I would get one every couple minutes because of Winston. And, we're vacationing, so I'm not even realizing that I haven't got one. I go to look, and it said, oh, signal disconnected or something like that. And I showed Ashley. She was like, that's weird. Why does it say that? And I was like, I don't know. In the back of my mind, I was like, what if Misery unplugged it? No, she's not immature. Why would she do some dumbass shit like that? Right? Wrong. After we had discovered the thing with the nanny cam, right? Maybe the day before our drive, Ashley was like, oh, if I can, I'm gonna keep my stuff in your apartment until the 1st, which was like literally like a week and a half away from when we were getting back from vacation. She was like, I'm gonna keep my stuff in your apartment until the 1st, because she was doing she was gonna get a storage unit, and it didn't make sense to get a storage unit or towards the end of the month because it would be prorated, but it didn't make sense to not use a full month of storage unit, which anybody would be like, oh, that makes sense. So she got the storage unit, and we're driving on our way back home from vacation. And I'm texting the owner, and I'm like, oh, things are going better for Ashley. She's gonna move out, and she's asking if she can keep her stuff in the apartment until the 1st. So, because of the whole storage thing, and I'm explaining that to her. She didn't respond. The owner didn't respond. So I'm like, okay. And then mind you, this ride back home was quite a few hours. It wasn't in New York. Like, what, 8-9 hours. So we on the drive, and nobody's texting me back. And I text Misery, and I'm like, oh, can you hit up this person and let them know, like, I'm trying to get in contact with them. Nobody's getting back to us, right? So we're getting there. We're driving. And so we got to the place, and I go up these 100 million thousand steps. I get to the apartment. I have a key, so I'm trying to unlock the door, and all of a sudden there's a deadbolt. I got the first lock open, and there's like one of those hooks behind the door, and I'm like jiggling with the door. I'm knocking, and I swear to you, I was out there for a damn hour, banging on the door. Ashley's trying to find parking, banging on the door, I'm calling everybody. And if I would have known better, I would have called the police, because what's happening was completely illegal. And I didn't know that at the time. But, you know, I'm trying to get the damn door open. And the other people the other roommates that lived there, I know that come to find out they were there. They heard everything. They were just told not to open the door. Like some pussies. I didn't like them anyway. Banging on the door, trying to get in, calling, banging on the door, trying to get in, I'm calling, I'm banging on the door, trying to get in. About an hour and a half goes by. And then finally, Misery opened the door and was just like, oh, were you knocking on the door? And I'm like, and I'm really trying to not think anything is weird because, again, this is someone I know. This is a friend, right? She's not a weirdo. Come to find out, there was like a little table, like as soon as you open the front door, like a little table right there. She was at the table listening to me bang on the door. And mind you, I was living there for like a year and a half. There was no lock on that door. The only lock was on that door was the main one. There was no other lock. So Shorty went out of her way, spent her own money, probably her mother's money because she didn't have any money, and got him. And it wasn't even for me. It was to keep Ashley out of this, you know, this room that we were paying for. So she's fucking standing there and I'm like, yo, what's the problem? Like, what is your beef? Like, what is your problem? Oh, you know, you told us that, you know, she was leaving. And mind you, she's one of those people who, like, she got all this smart ass mouth, but will do this. Her eyes would be complete. She wouldn't, oh, you know, you said she was leaving and this is and that and blah blah blah. But she's not one of those people to get all rowdy and stuff. She's like condescending but real calm about it. One of those people that you really just want to punch in her mouth. But she's also a police caller. So, you know, we don't do that, right? We don't mess with those. You know, talking hush and I hear doom, doom, coming up the stairs. It's fucking Ashley. I was like, oh my God. So, you know, Ashley is mature. She's an adult. She hears all this bullshit that this girl is spewing. And she goes inside. She gets her stuff for the night. And then she leaves. And then I didn't even know she left to go get a hotel because that bitch just left. And I'm standing in the hallway. I'm trying to talk to this girl. Like, what is your problem?
Oh, y'all had a surveillance camera in the bedroom and like, you know, the owners of the apartment didn't appreciate that. And you know, you guys were always smoking in the hallway, y'all never went outside. And you know, it was and you know, you never cleaned the house. And like I always had to leave notes all over the door. And you know, you guys took my clothes and my shoes. And like I watched.
And I promise you, she's really saying all this bullshit. She's bringing up every little teeny tiny good thing she's ever done for anybody in her life ever. Going down the list of all the things.
Oh, and you know, and your friend came to stay with me, and like I helped you cat because you were in the shelter homeless.
And I'm like, I was completely bewildered, but I wasn't 100%, like both sides. Like I was just like, my mind was completely blown, but at the same time, it 100% was not, because I'm like, well, there you are. There's the face that everybody saw, that everybody was hating on. Like, there you are. And I hate a there you are ass bitch. I hate. And she, you know, she's just going, and I'm like, and then the surveillance camera, really. Next day comes, I figure out where Ashley was. She went to a nearby hotel to calm down because Ashley was gonna take that girl head off. But I was like, girl, no. She called the cops and we don't need that. So she went to calm down and stuff. So the owner pulls up and, you know, and the owner and Misery are, yo, they're so fucking annoying. So the owner pulls up and they're sitting in Misery's room on some, like, it was almost like I'm being called into the principal's office type shit. Like, mind you, I'm older than Misery. Like, I'm fucking, girl. So I get in there, I sit down, I'm like, what's up? Like, oh, we need to talk to you. She was like, oh, I thought Ashley was leaving. And I was like, she is. All she was asking was to keep her stuff here for another week so she could get a story. Like I said, like I texted you and I pulled out my phone because they love proof. So I pulled out my phone and I'm like, this is, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but like when we first let you live here, when you was getting out the shelter, it was just supposed to be you. And I was like, wow, wow, fucking wow. Yeah, it was just supposed to be you. And you know, you brought this friend who's just drama and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but I did not ask you to take Winston. I did not ask you to let me live here. I did not ask you to let Ashley live here. I did not ask you for any of those things. So my thanking you for watching Winston, my paying rent and doing what I had to do as a roommate was not enough. Was that not like I hated you and a biscuit head ass girl, like. And I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I was the complete perfect roommate. But at the end of the day, I'm grown. I can take care of myself and I can keep up after myself. But you're not about to be writing notes and oh my God. You know, that was the end of us living together. Cause I had to go. Like I went to go live with my sister after that. I had to go. Because it was one of those places where like I don't want to fight you because I don't want you to call in the cops. But oh my goodness, she was like a really nasty girl. She was a nasty, nasty individual. And she lost so many friends, and it was crazy because I would see this and I'm like, why does everybody hate you? What? Girl, let's not be stupid. Let's not be stupid or immature and act like we don't know nothing. Now, at our big age, we're not gonna act like we don't know nothing because everybody's not lying. Not lying. Everybody's not a hater. Let's not. Girl, when I tell y'all, I got more stories about her and her whole situation because that girl got beat the fuck up. Them stitches. I know why you got them stitches, girl. Should I tell that story? It's not really my story, but it will be very entertaining. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. But, you know, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble about this nasty little girl. And, you know, let me know if y'all have some similar experiences. Do you believe that you can live with your friends? I don't believe that. I don't believe that for everybody. I believe that certain people can, you know, acclimate and cultivate and all that. I believe that certain people can. It's not for everybody, yes. But, you know, it's not jinxed. But I feel like you have to know the person. Or, especially when it comes to like living with a friend, you have to know them. And there's certain things that I feel like you should. It's like living with an intimate person, intimate man or woman. You know, it's like having an intimate relationship. Like there's certain things that y'all have to talk about, and y'all have to be open minded because when you live with somebody, you see the real them. You see in that person when they just wake up, when they got diarrhea, when they period about to start, when they, you know, they break up with somebody, when they lose their job, when they get money, lose money. You see in that person at the most randomest, intimate, personal times. And it has to be something that you can take or you can live with. And if not, it will blow up in shambles, like this situation. I do not miss this girl. Every friend I do not have anymore, I do not miss, because I'm one of those people where if you're gonna, oh, well, we don't gotta be friends. Oh, one less Christmas present I gotta buy, bitch. Because I feel like at this point, I've had so many people do that to me, and it's not nice. Like, it's not nice and it's not right. I don't do that to people. I'm not gonna, you know, yo-yo my presence in their life because I will cut that string, bitch. You could go. Stay at the door, bitch. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, if you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe, play, fast forward, repeat, play it again, run them numbers up. It's close, and I very much appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and watching. Again, please follow my social medias. I will have it listed below. And stay beautiful, stay real, and stay true. It's more in my experience, not even my opinion,